Hello, everybody. I'm Adam Kellenhofer, reporter for WisPolitics.com. Today, I'm joined for the DC Wrap by Congressman Glenn Grothman to talk about some issues with immigration in the United States, and specifically some domestic flights that have to do with undocumented immigrants. So, welcome to the show, Congressman Grothman. What can you tell me about these flights exactly? I haven't heard a ton about them, but maybe you can tell us about them.
Well, I was just down on the border myself in McAllen, Texas, which is kind of the center of where people are crossing the border. And people who ask for asylum, if they have children under the age of 7 or there are unaccompanied children, they get a free flight into the United States, basically wherever they want to go. This includes people who don't have any identification themselves, which I think is a problem in its own right. We do try to check for past criminal record. If you don't have an ID, that makes that very difficult. But when I got on the flight, I had heard this going in, leaving McAllen, from McAllen to Dallas, there had to be 15 to 20 people there who had presumably just crossed the border. A lot of them have a manila envelope just stating on it, I don't speak English, and giving directions as to where they should go. I obviously feel this is wrong. Americans don't get free airline tickets around the country in our own right. I think it's wrong if a children comes up here unaccompanied with just a marker on their T-shirt saying, I want to visit, such and such aunt and uncle in New York, that we would do that. If in America, somebody were to take a 4-year-old child and just drop him at the airport even and say, with a sign on the child saying, please find a way to get little Johnny here to Los Angeles, I think the social services agency would be visiting those parents and saying, what are you doing letting this little child alone? But that's what's going on our southern border all the time. I think sometimes little children are mistreated. I think it's also unnecessarily generous of the American public to give all this to people who actually shouldn't be entering here. They do ask for asylum, but they have, when studies have been done by independent agencies, including agencies connected to the UN, very few people are really here for asylum because they're in danger at home. They're just here for a stronger life economically. And we have a process for that. Every year we swear in about 830,000 new immigrants in this country. They should get in the queue for that, not claim they need asylum from at home and then be given an airline ticket around the country. And like I said, it's just rubbing salt in the wound that not only do you get a free airline ticket, but you don't even have to have an ID, unlike all American citizens who fly on our airlines.
So what would you propose really to fix this problem so much? Do we just need to stop letting so many people into the country, or?
Absolutely. So your listeners know, when President Trump left office, we were allowing about 6,000 people a month in the country. And those were people which are referred to as gotaways. We just couldn't get a handle on them. We didn't have enough Border Patrol agents, but through drones and that sort of thing, we were able to estimate about 6,000 people coming across our southern border every month. Now we're letting about 70,000 people a month into the country. And that was in May, when things are already beginning to heat up. And usually you begin to have the number of people coming in the country dropping. So all we have to do is go back to the old policies under President Trump, what they call the Migrant Protection Protocol, have Mexicans hold people on the south side of the border pending a hearing, and this feeling that anybody from around the world can show up and come to the United States will disappear. I should point out that even though the stereotype is people from Mexico or Central America coming here, people come from all around the globe. In McAllen, most were coming from Central America, but I had previously visited Arizona or California, huge numbers of people from Brazil, people from Russia, people from Ecuador. And of course, as time goes on, more and more people will come here from around the world. I was surprised to hear that one of their leading exotics, which is the Border Patrol term for people who are not from Latin America, were people from China coming across. I didn't see that when I was there, but those folks are paying up to $20,000 to be let in the country.
Wow. So do you think I know there have been a lot of calls from the Republicans on the Wisconsin delegation for Vice President Harris to visit the border, and I'm pretty sure she just did. Do you think that's going to remedy any of this problem at all, or is that going to do anything?
Sadly, no. She was hardly down at the border at all. It was just perfunctory check the box. President Biden gave her this very important issue, and I would say 70,000 people coming across our border every month that we haven't appropriately vetted is a huge issue. She did virtually nothing for the first 9 or 10 weeks that she had that position. And then when she did something, she went to El Paso, and I've been to El Paso too. That's not the center of people crossing over the border. And she only hung around there for a couple hours. So it was like, people are pestering me to go down there. I'm going to do the minimum amount possible. I'm going to thumb my nose to anybody who thinks I should actually learn something down there. And then she turned around and came back. Since then, I haven't seen her issue any statements on any significant policy changes at all. So I don't know whether President Biden likes this or whether she is outright embarrassing President Biden by, just showing a lack of respect and say, you can give me this position, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Either way, she ought to be removed. This is a serious problem. It's only going to get worse. 70,000 people in May. If we don't do something, particularly if we lift bans on certain people coming across because of fear of the COVID, we're going to wind up with we could easily wind up with 100, 150, 180,000 people a month coming across. If you consider all the people from around the world, not just Latin America, but the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, Africa, the Middle East, all the people who want to come here, you're just going to destroy America.
Do you think the deployment of roughly like 125 Wisconsin National Guard troops to the border for a non-law enforcement role, is that also going to play a role, do you think?
The more people, the better. Right now, half of the Border Patrol is spent processing people, particularly unaccompanied minors, changing diapers, that sort of thing. That's not what they're down there for. But as you take the Border Patrol off the border and doing really administrative stuff, you leave gaping holes in the border. So the more National Troop people down there, the better. I wish we could get the National Guard Air Force down there as well. Governor Evers, one of the first things he did when he took office was to pull the Wisconsin Air National Guard off the border. I'd been down the border at that time, and that was disturbing to the Border Patrol agents I knew down there. So it's at least time that Wisconsin began to step up to the plate and do our share in defending that border.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about related to the border or these flights or anything?
Well, I just have to encourage Wisconsin citizens to contact their federal representatives and tell them, we do not want unlimited people crossing that border. And it is going to get worse and worse every month until action is taken. And it's not an insoluble problem. We were down around 6,000 people a month just 8 or 9 months ago. There's no reason why we can't be down there again.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much for coming on DC Wrap today. It was great to have you on, as always. And I hope you have a good day. Thank you.
Well, it's cool being on DC Wrap.